Because a child's brain, which is part of the central nervous system, doubles in size during its first year of life and continues growing and developing at a rapid pace for the first 3 to 7 years of life, making sure this system is working at full function is simply the most important exam and assessment any pediatric provider could ever perform for your child. While traditional medicine relies primarily on symptoms and looks for obvious pathology on standard exams like blood work, MRIs, and EEGs, our practice uses an incredible piece of technology called the insight scans that accurately assess the health and function of the central nervous system. So if your child has struggled with colic and frequent crying as an infant, excessive tantrums and meltdowns as a toddler or preschool age child, motor coordination and speech delays, sensory processing and emotional regulation challenges, ADHD and anxiety type challenges later on, these are all signs that point to a stressed out, tense, and stuck central nervous system. Now, sadly, most pediatricians dismiss most of these challenges as normal and tell parents things like, "Don't worry, they're gonna grow out of it." Well, we now know that for most kids, those symptoms and conditions are early and obvious signs of trouble brewing in the nervous system. When we get into things like technology and neurology, many of us can get overwhelmed, confused, or disinterested quite quickly. But that's the beauty and the practicality of our insight scanning technology that I want to show you. It's super simple and it's very easy to understand. This video is for the parents who are searching for an objective test that will show them what is going on within their child's nervous system. You will learn exactly what electromyography is used for and how pediatric chiropractic can help. Starting very basic. So the nervous system is a two-way street. You have one set of nerves called sensory nerves. They send information and report to the brain and the brainstem precisely what is going on inside the internal environment of the body and the external environment outside the body. The other set of nerves is more of what is termed motor control nerves. Now, the motor control nerves, they send signals out from the brain and the spinal cord, and they're going to tell the various parts of the body what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Because neurological communication within the nervous system has to do this vitally important job for 37.2 million cells in the human body, things need to happen quickly, efficiently, and also have absolute clear lines of communication. We are designed to operate significantly faster than 5G long before it was even invented. And we certainly don't want kids operating at dial-up speeds. Now, this particular scan, called the EMG or electromyography, is vital for us to best help our perfect storm kids. It serves as the most important form of testing we can do when conditions like autism, sensory integration disorders, ADHD, and anxiety are being investigated. That's because each of these neurodevelopmental and neurosensory challenges are rooted in stuck tension, altered tone, and exhaustion of the neuromotor system. Most parents of a child on the spectrum or who struggle with sensory sensitivities are familiar with the word tone, having worked with outstanding professionals like pediatric PTs, OTs, and speech therapists. Now, neurological and tone challenges are a big deal, as motor function and development determine brain function and development. So that means If the EMG scan detects patterns of stuck, tension, and imbalance, the brain is almost certainly stuck in sympathetic fight or flight tone and also struggling with an imbalance between its core functions of regulating emotions, behavior, learning, and memory. These are 3 common findings with pediatric EMG scans, and we're going to briefly describe them here, and I'm going to show some examples of each of these types. So the first one we call the raging bull. This is a child whose nervous system is stuck on the gas pedal and entirely sympathetic dominant, leading to challenges with things such as hyperactivity, impulsivity, anxiety, difficulty sleeping, and is generally described as very wound up. Now, the second type we've called the drunken bull. This scan finds most often correlates with a child struggling with coordination, focus, reading comprehension, and communication. And then the third is kind of a mix, the raging drunken bull. As a child gets older, often they'll end up with both scan patterns and signs and symptoms of each of these. The most exciting thing about neurologically focused pediatric chiropractic care is that we can see changes in a child's EMG scans quickly because their nervous system is still learning to grow and adapts at such a fast pace. Their brains and bodies are growing and developing rapidly. It's really quite incredible. But this also means that when subluxation gets into the neuromuscular system, as shown on EMG, it can create a lot of chaos and alter their development for years to come. Diving a bit deeper into this particular scan, our Insight EMG scans also use a 3-step scoring system that allows us to really understand what's going on with the child's neuromotor system and thus overall and brain and neurodevelopment. Here are the 3 scores you're going to see on your child's EMG scan and a quick explanation of what they mean, and then we'll go over some examples. So first, we have the total energy score. This score tends to go way, way, way up in a child who's wound up and stuck in sympathetic mode. And therefore, a high score here is most often seen with our raging bull cases struggling with things like anxiety, behavior and sleep issues, and emotional regulation. Now, the second score is the pattern score. This is a significant score to the overall neurological tone, and a low score here indicates a child who's likely struggling with emotional regulation, focus and concentration challenges, postural exhaustion, and a weak core. And then the third score is a symmetry score. This score measures the balance between the right and left side of the neurospinal system, which is crucial to be sure that there is a balance in overall brain function and coordination. So here's an example of a raging bull scan. The number one thing that signifies this child's scan as a raging bull scan is the excessively high total energy number, shown in the bottom left-hand corner, which is 413.8. The normal score should be around 100. This means her entire neuromotor system is fully locked into fight or flight tone and interfering with her neuromotor development. So things like crawling, standing, walking, but also sleep, behavior, emotions, and digestion. Also interesting, this child is also a drunken bull, as shown by the other 2 low scores. Our second image here, what we refer to as the drunken bull for this child, her pattern score being really low, 24.2. This signifies she's struggling with drunken bull type neurological challenges. So we're going to see things like emotional regulation challenges, sensory processing, motor coordination, digestion, and motivation. The Insight scans do exactly what they're named for. They give us insights and an understanding of the most crucial aspect of your child's health in ways no other health practitioner can. The nervous system truly is the mom of the entire body, keeping everything and everyone on track at all times. And just like quite a few moms, it can get wound up and also worn out. But it truly doesn't have to be that way. At E320 Chiropractic, we're going to put together a fully personalized and customized care plan just for you. With each adjustment during that restoration or wellness care plan, you'll see the stuck stress and tension leave your child's body and the calm, relaxation, and healing capacity kick in. We can't wait for you to experience miracles that only neurological focused chiropractic care can bring to the table.